What's up, Facebook? I started to do it live, but then again, I say fuck it. I'ma just do a video and post it on Facebook. I started to go live, but I'm not. And I'ma name this Hebrew Israelites Are at War Part 2. And I don't want to sound like a hypocrite or nothing, because I'ma go ahead and say this. My heart is not genuinely in that culture because of one reason. Me being taught that what y'all worship is basically like the devil, and if, like I told him, like if you think I'm lying, it's videos all on YouTube, about the God of Israel and how people debating whether it's the devil or not. I think they call him the Gorilla Hebrew. He had a debate with one dude about the God of Israel being a devil, and the Gorilla Hebrew basically ate him up. But like I said, I could tell the dude he was debating was a Mason, right? And the reason why I say this because people have their beliefs about the God of the Bible or the God of Israel. Some people really do think our God is the devil. You have some people feel like they are God and they don't want to worship nothing outside of their self. And you have some people who just basically dislike the motive or the objective of this God during the end times. So they feel like they are God, so they want to do whatever to stop the process, whether they want to slow it down or just stop it, period. And the people who I'm basically speaking about is basically Masons or Luciferians who believe in themselves, and anything external from themselves is basically Lucifer, and you become a servant of that entity, right? It's crazy. Like, I can go all the way, I could break it down in the Kabbalah of how they basically saying we fell from the spiritual world into flesh, and they basically saying this what they believe in, how we are the fallen ones, to an extent, and the Elohim that was doing the creating, because it's basically a plural. Like, I can go get the Bible out the house and I can prove that, it was plural beings, that was doing the creating. Let us make man, let us go down and confuse their language. You know what I mean? Like, that's the us, the Elohim in the beginning. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashemayim va et haaretz. The plurals, the angelic forces, or the powerful ones, or ones with power. And then you have Psalm 82 verse 6 come back and say, ye are gods, and we are children of the Most High. So for some reason, a certain individual had to come down and remind us who we really are, because we had a fall. And I'm not talking about a metaphysical fall. Yeah, I could say metaphysical, because we fell from a lower state as far as in our consciousness. We thinking we was basically functioning off the ego. We thinking we was just man, you know what I mean? And we thinking we die like men, until a certain individual had to come and enlighten us, which they would say Lucifer, because of the light bringer, or one who brings the light, the illuminated one. That's what they believe in. But I don't want to get off topic, because I really want to let y'all know who y'all enemies are and how they coming. Like, it was stuff I was learning that I really never thought was possible. Until I started studying the science of the temple. Till I start knowing, like, what is the corpus callosum? What is the thalamus? What is the hypothalamus? What is the occipital lobe? You know, what is the optic nerve? What is the Ida Nadi? What is the Pingala Nadi? You know, what is the Shamshumna Nadi? What is the chakra system? You know what I mean? Okay, we have cells. What lies within the cells? Oh, ribosomes. What is the ribosome? What is the mitochondria? And what does the mitochondria do? And then I started learning. I said, oh shit, we are complex beings. We are way complicated than I thought. You know, I thought it was just some basic shit. And I said, damn, wow, I never knew it was more to it than that. You know what I mean? Especially studying your chakra system, you know, and realizing you're a multidimensional being in this parallel universe. Meaning, you experiencing a reality on top of this reality in another dimension. I mean, yourself, you as a whole, yourself, your consciousness is so big that it had to occupy space and time in another dimension. Whether it's on a 4D plane, 5D plane, or the 9D plane. And when you're dealing with these people who basically teach these spiritual practices on how to elevate your consciousness and how to meet these other parts of yourself, which they may say Atman, or your higher self, or they sometimes call it looking in the mirror. That's why they call it the cosmic waters, because if you look down at a pond or a puddle of water, you see a reflection of who you are. So as you experience the soul, you basically speaking to yourself when you go in that realm. I had a guru. He was my master teacher, and I was telling him about this dream I had. And it's true story. You know, this is a true story, like, for real. I want to say it was back in 2014. I don't want to get off topic, so y'all bear with me. I don't want to get off topic at all. I basically was having a dream. I fell into a deep sleep, you know, and I guess I had what you call an OBE. DMT was being released in my pineal gland, would allow me to have an OBE, an out-of-body experience. And when I had this experience, I was basically in total darkness. That's why I don't believe nothing nobody else tell me about this dude in the clouds and all. No, I know what I saw. So, like I say, if y'all want to say I came face to face with the devil, well, then that's who I came face to face with, you know. And it is what it is. But I came and it was total darkness, and I felt big because I was no longer isolated. I wasn't in confinement in this shell, in the flesh. So I felt big. And at the time, I didn't really know what was going on. And as I was in this realm, it was a face appeared, just a face. And it was like a monster. We would say it's a monster. But how can I say this entity was a bad entity? I fell in a deep sleep. It was total darkness, appeared. And it was a face. And all the face told me was to face my fears. But it didn't talk to me like I'm talking to y'all. It was silent, as if I was talking to myself in my head. It was real quiet. And it just told me to face my fears. And then it came up. It hovered up closer to me. And I felt fear, like I was in great fear. I was like, you know what I mean? Like I was scared as fuck of the face. And I guess I wasn't ready. And it hovered back in total darkness. And I came back in my body and my chest was hurting. And I experienced what you call paralysis. Some people call it sleep paralysis, where you paralyze temporarily. And I was questioning myself because I ain't never experienced nothing like that before. And I guess not knowing the science of it all, my subconscious was gonna lead me to the truth. So I guess as I kept contemplating, like, what was that? What was that? You know what I mean? My subconscious basically went and said, you know what? I'm finna go in the storage, your database, and I'm finna let you know what this was. So I was, like I told you, I really didn't know. I was querying myself, like questioning myself, like, what was it? And I used to question my teacher, my old head, who just taught me a lot of information about the anatomy, you know, whether it was metaphysical or physical. And he basically said, you saw yourself. And I didn't know what he was speaking about, like, you know, at the time, because I was kind of like dumb, you know, and I was just didn't know, you know, ignorant to it. So I was like, you know, I'm talking to myself, and I really didn't know it, you know, but I'm like, it did seem like I was talking to myself when this happened to me. So I'm like, was I really, you know, I was tripping, you know? And then as I started searching, I started doing research on your higher self and what the higher self is. And I basically met another part of myself, you know? And when you're dealing with the prophets, you know, in the Bible, I look at Abraham. Muslims call him Ibrahim. I bear witness. I don't want to say the wrong Bible verse. I think it was like Genesis 15 to 13. But I was skimming through the Bible, and basically I saw when Abraham was speaking about going in total darkness, he fell into a deep sleep, went in total darkness, and a face, you know, he said he was face to face with God, like, and I'm like, damn, that sound parallel to what I was speaking about, like, and what I basically experienced hands on. So I always didn't want to speak on that. So when I let a certain people know about what I saw, it was a lot of, they basically switch. I wouldn't say they switch, but what I saw, they don't deal with at all. You know, because the whole time, the same God that they was teaching me that okay, this is the devil. This is what they were saying. They were saying that, okay, the God of Yisrael is the devil. I ain't gonna say I saw the God of Yisrael, because it didn't say my name is Yahweh. It didn't say I'm Allah. It didn't say I'm Brahma. It didn't say none of that. All it said was to face your fears. And it came up close. And I experienced fear. And I was super scared. Like I was scared in total darkness. But I felt big, you know, face to face with it. And it was like, I wanted to know what was that, you know? And then as I start being around these people, Masons and stuff, you know, and I start learning a lot about a lot, I was seeing that it was more to life than I thought. And no, I'm not a Mason. I've never been to the lodge. Because if I've been to the lodge and took that oath, I'd be dead right now. But since I ain't never took no oath, they really can't do nothing to me, you know? But I learned that it was more to it than life. And that it is this realm, this physical realm, basically in parallel with the spiritual realm. You know what I mean? Like, everything is connected. Even on the etheric level, everything is connected. And of certain forces, certain energies you could pull down and bring inside your vessel to give you certain capabilities or enhance your mental capacity. Because when you're dealing with the Kabbalah speaks about angelic forces and calling on these angelic forces to basically activate a higher part of yourself, you know, to strengthen your mental capacity. And then when you're looking at it, if you can bring down the other parts of yourself, you can actually have the ability. You know how they say, I know we all done heard the saying, you know, with God anything is possible. And I truly believe that. You know, even when it come down to Moses, I believe that happened. Because when you looking at subatomic particles and what subatomic particles come from and what make up atoms, which is subatomic particles, you be like, damn, where did these subatomic particles come from? And how was an atom even emanated? Then you say, oh, the mind. Then I'm like, damn, I got a mind. I'm pure consciousness. I'm consciousness inside this vessel. Oh, so everything I see right now is made up of atoms. And those atoms is made up of subatomic particles. So you mean to tell me everything come from the mind? Because if everything I look at is made up of atoms which come from the mind, well then I mean the mind can manipulate and control matter on a subatomic level, because everything comes from the mind. I mean the mind can alter matter. You just gotta know how. And I'm not talking about no sorcery. I'm not talking about no witchcraft, because you do have enemies or witches out there who study black magic. You do have sorcerers out there that call for certain energies to get these powers. But I'm talking about going to the one true power and allowing, or basically being a conduit for that entity to come in and settle in and become strong, stronger than ever. And I never thought this was possible. All this stuff, I was like, damn. And then that's when I said, oh, telekinesis is true, because that's all telekinesis is, manipulating matter on